Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's live onboarding with Ledger. I'm Tim from Ledger, and this week I'm going to be setting up a Ledger Nano S Plus. I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to show you all the steps. I'm going to give you a bunch of good information that you can use to carry forward with your crypto journey. And we're also going to have a moderator in the chat here, and they should be here to answer your questions here very shortly. So if you did come here just to get your questions answered, and you would rather just have the live support aspect of it, feel free to drop your questions in the comments, and our moderator will go ahead and handle that. Meanwhile, if you're here to see how to set up a Nano device from start to finish, and you just like some good information, then feel free to kick back and enjoy the show. So I will go ahead and get started now. This is a Ledger Nano S Plus that I'm setting up today. It's actually the exact same Ledger Nano S Plus that I set up last week. If you were here in last week's live stream for the onboarding, you're probably going to recognize the blue Nano S Plus. And I also did one other thing that's going to be a little bit different this week is I actually did not reset the Nano S Plus from last week, so it's still set up with the recovery phrase that we set up last week. And so I'm going to start this show off today by showing you guys how you can reset your Nano and generate a new recovery phrase, as well as the full device setup. So we can add a little bit of extra flavor to the show today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and unbox it. Let me change this view real quick. There we go. All right. And ignore my Ledger Live. That's also going to be part of it. You can see it's already set up, and there's already like a portfolio and everything. I'm also going to reset Ledger Live, but I just want to show you guys a couple things real quick. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move this under here. I took off the outer cover, the outer case. And then this is what you're going to see when you open up your Nano S Plus. Oh, and one more thing real quick. If you do have a Nano X or even a Nano S, and you're trying to set it up for the first time, like it's been sitting for a while, you're trying to set it up, you can follow the same instructions that I'm about to give you for setting up the Nano S Plus. It's going to be the same across all devices. It may look a tiny bit different, and there may be like one or two selections that you do during the setup process in Ledger Live that may differ a little bit, but it's very self-explanatory, and I'll talk you through the entire the entire process with each step. All right, cool. So we got the unboxing. Here is the blue Nano S Plus, which honestly I really like. But anyway, that's a side thought. Like I said, we take that out, we put it down right there. Right here, we have the secret recovery sheets. So it's in this big orange envelope. So these are the recovery sheets that we provide for customers that come with the device that allow you to write down your 24-word recovery phrase. So we'll just go ahead and pop one of these out. It comes with 3. We used 1 last week, and we're going to use 1 this week. And there's 1 remaining inside this packet that we'll use for a future onboarding. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to slip that back in. And then I'm going to take out this molding right here where it holds the Nano and the recovery sheets. I'll put that to the side over here. And then we got this pink envelope right here. And this pink envelope comes with regulatory information, do's and don'ts, how to get started with Ledger, how to care for your device. It's got a little bit it's got some stickers in there. Just the normal stuff that you would expect to come with, most electronic devices. So I'm going to go ahead. It's definitely a good idea to give a quick read through that if you're not too familiar with the device and how to like properly store it and care for it. I would definitely read through here just to get some additional tips. All right. Set that to the side, and then underneath that pink envelope, you have this black box right here with the little cutout for your finger to pull it up. Inside here is a USB cable. The Nano S Plus is USB-C, and so it comes with a USB-C to USB-A connector type. So if you are using a MacBook like I'm using right now, and it's a newer MacBook and it doesn't have USB-A connection ports, so it's only got USB-C, then you would need to get like an adapter or something. This is the one that I use with my computer, but you can also get just a USB-C to USB-C cable. And then any USB-C to USB-C cable will work with your Nano. So if you have one of these already for like a charging cable or something, you can use that in lieu of the cable that it comes with if you need to, like if you have a newer Mac. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and move this box out of the way right here. Okay, cool. So now we have our recovery sheet. We're going to go into a lot of detail about recovery phrases like when we get to that step. So we'll kind of just go ahead and table that for now. But real quick, let's go ahead and plug in this Nano so I can show you what I was talking about before. So let's say, so when I plug in this Nano, you can see that it powers on and it asks me for a pin. You can see it's asking me to enter a pin right there. And so that'll be the pin that I set up last week. So this is going to be, I always use the same pin for these live streams to keep it easy. So this pin is 1, 1, 1, 1, and that'll unlock the device. And you can see last week I installed the Bitcoin app. It's still there. This device is still good. So this device actually now contains the 24-word recovery phrase that we set up last week. It's still in this device. So if I were to add this Bitcoin account or any account to Ledger Live, it would be the same accounts that we added last week. But there's no funds in any of these accounts. We never actually deposited anything to it. So it's an empty device. So there's really no need to, in fact, I already destroyed that recovery phrase. So there's really no need to keep using it as it is. So we're going to reset it and we're going to set it up as a new device. And I thought it would be cool to kind of show you guys this. And I'll show you the two different ways you can reset your device. So this would be like if, like in practice, like when would you need to do this? This would be a case where if you have your PIN and you're able to get into your device, but let's say you lost your recovery phrase. And if you lost your recovery phrase, but you're still able to get into your device, then you'll still be able to sign transactions, access your accounts, do whatever you have to do. But if the device were to ever get reset, then you wouldn't be able to access your funds anymore because you didn't have your recovery phrase. So if you are in a situation where you no longer have access to your recovery phrase, but you do have access to your Nano still, the best thing to do in that case would be to unlock it, access all your accounts, send all your crypto from all your accounts, any account that's tied to that Nano, away out of those accounts. You want to drain your Nano completely. A good place to send it is to an exchange that you trust, that you use, and you can temporarily store your crypto there, and then you can then reset your Nano, generate a new recovery phrase, write that down, and you know, keep it secure, and then you can create new accounts that'll be totally different because they're all derived from a different recovery phrase, and then you can send your crypto back to your accounts. So this is why I kind of wanted to just kind of incorporate this into this live stream real quick, and I hope it's not too much of a distraction from like the nature of the show, which is the device setup, but we're going to be getting to that in just a minute. All right, so first method, there's two, as I mentioned, to reset your device. You can hold both buttons down on the top right here. That'll take you to the control center. And then you go to settings, and you can go to security, and then you can go to reset device. And so this is going to tell you that it's going to totally reset your device, and you can choose this option right here, and it'll factory reset your device. It'll have you put in your PIN to authorize it, and then it'll wipe it clean. And it'll be as if it never had that recovery phrase in it at all, or any of your information. It'll be like just like opening it up brand new from the factory. So now I'm going to break the connection, and I'm going to show you the second method for factory resetting the device. So you plug it back in, it's going to open back up and ask you for the PIN. So we all know that the PIN for this device is 1111. But so if I put in, let's say 4740, it says invalid PIN, 2 attempts left. So that means that after 2 more attempts, 3 in total, this Nano is going to factory reset anyway. And this is to prevent the possibility from someone stealing your Nano and trying to get your PIN. I talk about this a lot in my live streams, but very seldom do I like have a good opportunity to show like this process. And I want to show you real quick, add another 30 seconds to this and show you that it cannot be like thwarted. Like you can't like trick the device. Like, so if you can't like unplug it and be like, oh, okay, let's try to reset that. The device is going to remember how many invalid attempts right off the bat. When you plug it back in, it reminds you like wrong PIN has already been entered once. You have 2 more attempts. And if you don't get it right, we're wiping. So let's do it again. 8859. Check. 1 attempt left. 0667. Check. Invalid PIN. Device reset. And at this point, there's no way to stop it. There's no way to, it's already done. So you can scroll to the right and it says, please restore your device from your recovery sheet, which would be this if you had it. And then you can restart the device. That's the only option. So we restart the device. Now you'll notice that it says, welcome to Ledger Nano S Plus. Press right button to continue. And if you've been to any of my previous live streams, you'll know that plugging in a new device, this is exactly the message that comes up right out of the box. Rip off the plastic. This is what happens. So for all intents and purposes, this is now a brand new factory reset device. Like this is no different than any device that you would get from Ledger or Best Buy or Amazon. It's all the same. And I want to show you guys this just to show you kind of like why it would be safe to reuse a Nano. Like let's say for instance you had a friend that had a whole bunch of Nanos that they were using and they were like, yeah, I hardly use this one anymore, there's no funds on it, here you can have it. And it might, you know, from like someone who's new coming into the space, you'd be like, oh well, but you've been using this, like I don't want to use that. Like could you somehow gain access to my funds, or would I somehow inadvertently have access to yours? Like I it seems messy, but in reality, as long as the device is factory reset, then there's no danger. There's no possible way anything can happen. No cross contamination, no nothing. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, 'cause I think it's pretty cool. And then also, I'm going to show you. So this is Ledger Live. I'm going to go ahead and you see right here, I have these accounts right here. These accounts actually belong to my other Nano that I use for work. I'm going to go ahead and reset Ledger Live now too. So let's go ahead and do that, because I want to reset everything back to factory. That way I can show you guys how to set it up from start to finish. And then I'm going to add all these accounts right back in. So to do that, you click on the settings up here. It's this little gear icon. You see it up here? And then you go to help and then reset Ledger Live. Reset, reset. All right, it's wiping all the data. There we go. Now we have welcome to Ledger Nano S Plus and the opening screen for Ledger Live. So this is the screen that you would see right when you downloaded Ledger Live and opened it for the very first time. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Like I just want to show you guys how you can go from having a Nano that's loaded with a recovery phrase, Ledger Live that's loaded up with accounts, reset everything, and now we can continue with the live onboarding as if this really was a brand new unpacked device. Same exact thing. Okay, cool. So let's put this aside. So let's just go ahead and start from the beginning then. So in case you are brand new and you are here, and I hope I didn't confuse you too much with that little opening that I just did. But if you are brand new and you're hoping to find out how to set up a device for the first time, this would basically be the point that you would be starting at in your journey. So when you plug in your device, you have these two buttons on the top. If you do have the Nano X, you'll have a button here and a button here. It's the same thing, left button, right button, left button, right button. And the devices work very much the same. So if you are using your Nano X, again, you can be following along with this. So the right button, of course, will scroll to the right, left will scroll to the left, and then pressing both buttons at the same time will make a selection. And that's a quick tap to make the selection. Holding them down will take you to the settings menu, the control center. So yeah, let's go ahead. We already got Ledger Live. So now we have two options. I mentioned before that if you had lost your recovery phrase, that you would have to remove your crypto, generate a new recovery phrase by setting up as a new device, and then go in. So this option right here to set up as a new device, that will generate a new recovery phrase for this Nano and save it in the memory. And choosing this option, restore from recovery phrase, will let you import an existing recovery phrase you already have. So you may want to use this you would need to use this option if you were to lose your Nano malfunctions or breaks or gets stolen. We already know that if it gets stolen, there's really no danger at all to your crypto being accessed. However, it's a mighty inconvenience because you paid a bunch of money for this device. That's the worst part, to be honest. But the silver lining in all that is you can just get a new Nano, import your existing recovery phrase into it using this option, and now you have access to all your same accounts. And it's like you never lost your Nano. You don't even have to move funds. You don't have to do anything. And we're going to get more into detail on why that is a little bit later. But for now, we're going to choose set up as new device. So first things first, you choose your PIN. It could be between 4 and 8 digits in length. Obviously, the longer it is, the harder it is to guess, and the more likely someone's going to trigger that factory reset. Although a 4-digit pin is pretty hard to guess within 3 attempts. I would venture to say it's almost impossible unless it's like something easy, like what I'm about to do. So make it hard to guess, and you'll be good to go. I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to go 1, 1, 1, 1, and that's just to keep consistency for devices that are not used for funds. Yeah, it helps with the demonstrations. 1, 1, 1, 1. There we go. Not super secure, but good enough for this presentation. All right. So now your device will generate your 24 words, and they are your recovery phrase. So it's your only backup to restore your accounts if needed. Write down your recovery sheet in the correct order, and press both buttons to continue. So this is usually the point where I set down the Nano and I go on my little spiel about recovery phrases. So what is a recovery phrase? So your recovery phrase is a set of words that are used to combined, your recovery phrase becomes your master private key, and it's converted into another format, and it becomes this extremely long set of characters that is your master private key for your accounts. And from this, you can derive all of your individual private keys for each individual blockchain, as well as the public wallet addresses. They come in a pair, public and private wallet addresses. I don't want to get into too much technical detail here on that, but the key takeaway about your recovery phrase is that it is your crypto accounts. It is the key to your crypto accounts. And so if you were to share your recovery phrase with somebody else, either by importing it into their software, like for instance, someone on Twitter DMs you and claims to be from Ledger support, and they're like, hey, I want to help you. Please fill out this document, or please go to this website, and it looks like Ledger Live, but it asks you for your recovery phrase, and you import it in there. Then that person will be able to immediately access all of your accounts and totally drain all of your accounts, even though you're using a Nano. Because your Nano, the security of your Nano works in that it keeps your recovery phrase stored inside the secure element, and it lets you sign transactions using your private keys, because that's required to sign transactions from your account, but without having to actually share that information with the computer. So it's impossible for any malicious software to get at that information as long as you keep it completely offline. You don't want to share this ever. You don't want to take a picture of it. You don't want to store it in a password manager. You don't want to store it in a cloud service, certainly not in a cloud service. You don't even want it on your computer at all, or in your phone. You don't want to. So it may be like considered unlikely that you would be your computer could get hacked or accessed by some malicious piece of malware or a virus, but I can tell you that it does happen. Perhaps not likely, but possible. And so if it's possible, why take the chance? And so the only way to 100% guarantee that you can keep your asset safe is that after you press these both buttons to continue and you derive your recovery phrase, you do it offline. You don't even have to have this plugged into your computer to do this part. You can plug this right into a wall outlet and completely do it without it even being associated with the computer. Although I will tell you, it is perfectly safe to do this while powered on from your computer. Your computer cannot see what's happening on this device while you're doing it. But yeah, after you get your 24 words, you write them down on this nifty sheet, and then you take this and you're going to want to store it somewhere very safe, like in a safe, a fireproof safe to be would be really nice. Although depending on where you're at and what resources you have available to you, like you may have better options or different options. Perhaps a safety deposit box at a bank that you really trust, or perhaps like in like a underground bunker that you have in your backyard that only you know about. Like, I mean, that's totally extreme case, but some people might have that going on. And so whatever is the safest place where you can guarantee no one's going to get to it, and then your crypto is inaccessible to anyone except for you. So just remember that. Okay, recovery phrase spiel, keeping it safe. Don't share it with anybody. Let's go ahead and generate one of these things and write it down on the sheet. All right. So we're going to press both buttons to continue, and it's going to immediately spit out the first word. So now, real quick, just give you a little bit of a background on this. So all the recovery phrase words, it all comes from the same list of 2,048 total possible words, and this is called the BIP 39 word list. And BIP 39 stands for Bitcoin Improvement Protocol 39. This is just a standard from when the recovery phrase words was implemented. So that's kind of like this Ethereum Improvement Protocol. It's just like yeah. So it's just basically the protocol that dictates where recovery rephrase words are derived from and what they are. And you can actually see that on, you can go online. There's a couple, I think Blockplate. I could be wrong about that, but there's also a GitHub repository. It's all public information. You can see it. And it's just this list of 2,048 total words. And so what your Nano does is your Nano has a randomness element to it, and it randomly pulls words from this list. And it'll give you just a random set of 24 words from this list that is a functional seed phrase, basically. Yeah, so that's what's happening right now. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this. This is kind of the longest part. Kind of hard to multitask during this part. Okay. There. All right. Yeah. So first word is auction. Okay. Second word is degree. And notice that I'm writing these words down in the correct order, 1, 2, 3, 4, as it's labeled on the sheet. That way, to avoid any potential future incident where I'm trying to recover words and maybe I accidentally wrote it this way instead of the correct way, and then I try to enter it in the recovery phrase this way because I notice 2 years from now that this is how it's numbered. That could present an issue, because if your words are not entered in the exact same order that they're given to you in, you will not regain access to your accounts. That will be a completely different recovery phrase. All right. Third word is blouse. Cabin. Cannon. Turtle. Section. Margin. Quality. Uncover. Sure. Dirt. Drift. Unit. Ribbon. Loss. Jar. Sugar. Make. Disagree. Ramp. Horse. And pyramid. All right. So when you're going through this process on your own, definitely don't worry about how long it takes. Take your time. Write as legibly as you can. You want to be able to, after all, use these words to recover in the future if you need them. And if you can't read your own writing, that may present some challenges. So yeah, so take your time during this process. There is no rush. This is a very serious part of the process. You're essentially creating, I mean, you're not essentially, you're creating the master private key to all your crypto accounts. So after we get done with the setup on this, every single account that I create from this Nano that I add into Ledger Live for any blockchain will all be tied to this recovery phrase. They're all derived straight from this recovery phrase. So definitely take your time and take this very serious, especially if you're going to be loading a lot of money into your crypto accounts. There will be no, if anything does happen, then there's really no recourse for that. There's nothing that we at Ledger can do to help you, as of right now, help you with your for recovery phrase issues like that. And there's certainly nobody outside, like in the wider crypto world, that can help you. If they are saying they can help you with that, they're probably trying to scam you in some way. So yeah, so definitely make sure you take this very serious, and yeah, just take your time. Okay, cool. So on the Nano, we can scroll back to the left now. We can verify all of our words, which is a good idea to do. But even if you do that, you will still have to confirm your recovery phrase in the next step. Which is good. And we made it a little bit easier now. So like basically you'll see that it does say the first word is auction, but if I scroll to the right, I have just kind of like three random words, 3 or 4 random words that's going to give you. And one of them is the correct word. So you just want to scroll, you want to find the right word for the number that it's given you, and then you want to tap both buttons to select that. So first word is auction. It happened to start with that one, so we'll tap both buttons. Next word is degree. We'll find that. Blouse, cabin, cannon, hurdle, section, margin. Okay, I'm just going to do this quietly from now on and finish this out. Okay, your recovery phrase is set. Keep it in a secure place. Yes, very wise word. So ideally, I would now take this thing. I got this message saying it was all good to go. If I did make a mistake, it would say, try again. One of the words you entered wasn't right. So yeah, then you'd be able to just go in and try again. And honestly, if you are at this point and you keep going through and it keeps saying, try again, and it's starting to make you frustrated, it's starting to cause stress, keep in mind that at this point, we have not loaded any crypto onto any accounts. The recovery phrase that you've been given is a dead recovery phrase. There's no crypto associated with it. So at this point, it'd be perfectly okay to just start over, unplug your Nano, start over from the beginning. Until you finish the setup process, unplugging your Nano at this point will cause it to just automatically reset back to the Welcome to Ledger Nano screen, and you can try again. You can generate a new recovery phrase, and whatever the issue might have been, you can kind of work past that, maybe write a little bit neater or whatever. Maybe like you accidentally messed up one word or something. Not a big deal to start over at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and take this recovery phrase, and then I'm gonna stick it in my safe, but really I'm just gonna put it right here next to me. Okay, and then back to the Nano. Go to the right. If it's lost, stolen, or forgotten, your assets will be lost. Never share it with anybody. Ledger will never ask you for it. Real quick on that, I told you earlier, I made a mention about like maybe like a scammer would reach out to you on social media, which is very common, by the way. I don't bring that up just willy-nilly. I mean, if you're on Twitter, if you're on social media, you know that there's a lot of scammers. They try to impersonate us, and they do that by making like accounts that look kind of maybe a little bit similar to us, and they even try to match our wording a little bit. It's mostly just bots, but the idea is if anybody ever asks you to send them a direct message, unless it's somebody you know and who you know is got your best interest in mind. But if it's someone you don't know on the internet and any social media platform, and they're saying, yeah, send us direct message and we'll help you out, they're not trying to help you. They're most likely trying to scam you out of your assets. Ledger and nobody from Ledger will ever ask you for a direct message, and will certainly never ask you for your recovery phrase. That's not something that we want. like the whole point of this is for users to, you know, have self-custody and maintain their own recovery phrase. And so, yeah, if you're asked for that information, then it's most likely someone trying to scam you. So just huge red flag. If you go to a website and it looks like Ledger Live, and first off, Ledger Live is not a website. It's an application that you download and install and open up on your computer. So if it's a website that's trying to look like Ledger Live, immediately it's like guaranteed to be a scam. And then if it asks you for your recovery phrase, also a scam. Never ever enter your recovery phrase. Yeah, except under very specific circumstances, but we don't need to get into that here. For the purpose of this video, you should never enter your recovery phrase anyway. All right, press both buttons to continue. Oops, there we go. We are processing. Device is ready. Let's go to the dashboard. Cool. All right, so now we have the device ready, and we are on the dashboard. The dashboard is the main window on your Nano. After you, now that we have it set up, we can unplug it and then plug it back in. And of course, it's going to ask us for our PIN because it's now a setup device. So we go 1, 1, 1, 1. That unlocks the Nano. And now we're on the dashboard. So from the dashboard, you can hold both buttons down right here at the top for a few seconds. Ooh, where am I going? Here we go. Hold those guys down, and then it takes you to the control center. That wasn't a great. Let me try that again. You use both hands like a normal person. All right, so hold both buttons down for a few seconds, and it takes you to the control center right there. And so you got manage device settings. You got lock device or close. That's pretty much it with the Nano S Plus. If you're using the Nano X from the control center, you will also have Bluetooth settings, and because the device has Bluetooth capabilities, but the Nano S Plus doesn't. So that option is here. So yeah, so you can we'll go ahead and close the control center right now, and then you have this other widget right here that says Install App. To do that, we're going to need Ledger Live. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down for a minute, and then go to Ledger Live and get started. All right. So I mentioned in the beginning of the video, like very slight differences between the setup process for each device. This is one of them. Which device do you have? We have the Nano S Plus. Whatever you have, you would select whatever Nano you have. First time using your Nano S Plus? If so, that would be in a situation where we have not set up a recovery phrase, where we maybe plugged it in and said, welcome to Ledger Nano S Plus, download Ledger Live to continue. And you do that, and now you're at this step. You'd want to choose this. And this step is going to walk you through how to set up the recovery phrase. It's going to give you a lot of the same information that I've been giving you up until this point. And it'll guide you through the process very well. But since I manually did that, I'm not gonna subject you to that anymore. So we are going to scroll down, and right here where it says already have a recovery phrase, which we do, it's saved in here, and it's also stored in our safe, not our safe. So now we can connect our Nano S Plus, or you can restore your recovery phrase on a new device. So this will walk you through the steps for if you already have a recovery phrase. Basically, this will be like the option from the beginning when I plugged it in and said restore from recovery phrase. This is what you would choose. Like if you already have your recovery phrase and you're trying to get good help on how to like import and reaccess your accounts, this will help you with that. So this is the option we want. We want to connect our Nano S Plus because we're good to go. Let's get into Ledger Live. So let's do the genuine check now. Genuine check is going to scan the firmware, the operating system of the device, and it's going to let us know if it's genuine. So at this point, if anybody has tampered with the device at all, physically or software-wise, hardware or software-wise, it's going to fail this check, and it's going to be a hard stop. Not going to be able to create accounts, not going to be able to load crypto on there. It's going to be just a hard stop. So it's basically a fail-safe. So there's no way that anybody can like basically get one of the users to create crypto accounts on a hacked device. That's why you never hear any legitimate stories of hacked devices. Like it just doesn't happen. So we're gonna check my Nano. And then now we have to allow Ledger Live to form a secure connection with the Nano. That can never happen without the user's authorization. So we're going to tap both buttons and we're going to allow that. And then it's really quick to scan it, the operating system. So it's all good. Your Ledger Nano S Plus is genuine, ready to use. So that's awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and click continue. So you can see that we have no accounts. It's grayed out. All the options involving accounts is grayed out. Send, receive, buy, sell, swap from over here on the left. Now, if you look all the way at the bottom, you see that there's a My Ledger tab right here. So this is where you actually make changes to your device. This is where you'll install Nano apps. This is where you will update the firmware of your device. And every time you go to the My Ledger tab, you have to perform a genuine check. It's just another fail-safe. It's just, you know, any time that the Nano, any change has to be made to the Nano, it has to first go through the My Ledger tab, and it has to be approved by the user, and it's got to scan the firmware to make sure it's still genuine. So very, very secure. So now I wouldn't have to do the genuine check again because I already did the genuine check just now during the setup. So you can see it. We can go to the My Ledger tab, and yeah, we'll let it load real quick. And it lets us right in because we already did a genuine check. The Nano hasn't been disconnected. And so it already knows that this Nano is genuine because it's still got that secure connection that we already authorized. However, if we go back to the portfolio tab and we break the connection, we plug that back in, it's going to ask us for a PIN. We'll go ahead and put that in. Oop. Okay, we got Nano back, and then we go back to the My Ledger tab. It's now, we broke the connection. So now now Ledger Live doesn't know. It needs our permission to say, okay, well, now I've got another Nano. Ledger Live doesn't know that this is the same Nano that we just had plugged in, not until we let it know. So we're going to allow Ledger Manager to form a secure connection and scan the firmware. Looks like it's good. All good. Still all good. I didn't manage to get any malicious firmware installed in the brief time between those connections. All right, cool. So if you look up here, you got update firmware to 1.1.0 is available. So we could do that, and we could update the firmware, but I like to keep this bar up here for just for demonstration purposes to show people what it looks like when a firmware update is available. This is what it looks like. So first off, you would have a little blue circle right here. Or maybe it's purple. I guess I would call that a little like purplish blue circle. Either way, this little circle right here means that there is some action needed in the My Ledger tab. This circle could pop up if there's an app update that needs to be updated or if there's a firmware update. So if you ever see this after you connect your Nano, it means that there's an update available for your Nano, and you should go to the My Ledger tab and get that installed. And firmware update will be here. App update will show up here in another banner that you can't see right now because there's no updates available. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and throw the Ethereum app on it this week, and we'll install the Ethereum app. So the Nano apps here, you can see that there's a bunch of different Nano apps. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, like all the like blockchains that we support. It generally starts with all the major ones that we support directly in Ledger Live. So if you see this little check mark right here with Ledger Live supported, that means that you can install this Nano app and create an account for this blockchain right in Ledger Live to manage your assets. However, if you scroll down a little bit, eventually you'll get to the first one here, Avalanche, and then a couple others. Here's Monero, ICP, VeChain, the popular ones, Stacks, like all these other ones, they all require third-party wallets. So that means that you can download this app onto your Nano, but Ledger Live doesn't have the tools yet to actually support those blockchains. But a Nano app has been built, which is really cool because that means that you can now connect your Nano to a different wallet. In this case, for Avalanche, it would be the AVAX web wallet. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get that installed, and maybe I'll show you that here in a second. So we're just going to throw the Avalanche app on here so I can show you that. Like if we still have, it looks like we're going to have plenty of time to show you that. Cool. So now we got a couple apps. You see on the screen of the Nano, we've got the Ethereum app, the Avalanche app, and that's it. So we can install a bunch of apps if we wanted to. You can see up here our capacity on the Nano S Plus is I believe it's like 1.8 or so megabytes, maybe a little bit less, 1.3 or so. No, it's gonna be definitely 1.29. It's right there, and then the free space 1.17 megabytes. The Nano apps don't take up a whole lot of space. It's measured in kilobytes. So yeah, so you can store quite a few Nano apps on here, and yeah. So what the Nano apps do is it's not actually your crypto accounts. So I could actually, if I wanted to, I can now go and add a Ethereum account using the Nano, and I can open the Ethereum app. You have to open the Ethereum app to do that. Oh, it closed it. Oh, look at that. It's going to force us to update our firmware. That's actually probably a good thing. All right. So we're going to pivot, and I'm going to update the firmware. Even though I like having it as a, what's it called, as a demonstration for what it looks like, we can't really go much further without updating the firmware. So let's go ahead and do that. And the reason, if you're wondering, like, well, why do you have to update the firmware? Like, what's so important about the firmware? The firmware it's the operating system of your device, and so this is quite old. This is actually the firmware that was the first firmware that was installed on Nano S Pluses when they were first released. And so updates to the firmware occur because things change so often. So right now we have to confirm the update. We just downloaded it. Now we can confirm the install, and it'll reset. It'll do its thing. It's going to go through a bunch of stuff. Yeah, you see it's processing. We're going to let it do its thing, and I'll kind of explain a little bit more about firmware updates. Actually, it won't let me. Let's put in the pin real quick. It's a very interactive process. Okay. That was actually extremely quick. So right here, after you update your firmware, there's a little button down here to reinstall apps. Make sure to click that, and that'll reinstall any Nano app that you had before the firmware update. You do have to reinstall the Nano apps following a firmware update. And you also have to allow the secure connection with Ledger Live again as well. So yeah, so it's going to go through and download those. Okay, back to firmware. So it's especially true, I think, in the crypto space because things are changing so much. But I mean, anyone who's pretty much alive these days either has a smartphone or a computer of some sort of electronic device that does receive regular updates. And now you've probably noticed that if you go too long without updating your device, your phone, your computer, like let's say you turn off automatic updates and you're like, no, only I decide what gets updated on my device. I want control of my device. Well, that could work if you're if you're knowledgeable enough to know like what's being installed in your device. But a lot of times you're not really told what's installed and what's being installed in like operating system updates for your computer or your phone. But the types of stuff that's installed would be like for sure. Yeah. I just got a okay, cool. Yeah, I just got a request from one of our mods asking me to show Joseph multiple devices in Ledger Live. So yeah, I'll definitely get to that. But let me finish this spiel real quick. Yeah, so basically, it's going to install like security packages. So it'll make your device more secure because things change all the time. There's new threats, new things to look out for, and your operating system has to constantly update to stay on top of all the changes that are happening in the world around us, in the world of Web3 in this case for their devices. Same with your Nano apps. So your Nano apps have to be updated so that you can continue to communicate with blockchains that are evolving at a rapid pace. If you've been around in the space for a long time, you'll notice that pretty much every time there's a network upgrade for the any of these blockchains, we then have to go in and make updates to the Nano app to be able to handle those updates. Like for instance, Cardano not too long ago had a major upgrade where they had smart contract capabilities and stuff, but our Nano app didn't know how to handle that. Like it didn't know how to communicate with that type of transaction on the Cardano blockchain because it hadn't been built in. So people weren't able to use their Cardano app to do all the fun new things that people can do on Cardano. And so we had to go in and install an update that added a whole bunch of data, and it made the Cardano app much bigger. But it's necessary to be able to continue interacting with that. And so that's why it is very important to make sure everything is always up to date all the time to have the best experience. But okay, let's get to where we're at. Okay, so Joseph, let me read all your stuff here. Okay. Like you've been having a little bit of a conversation. I'm gonna scroll up. Okay, cool. So okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, so you've been talking to Ty for a little bit. Let me just scroll down. I don't want to like try to like rehash the entire conversation. Let's just read the last couple messages. Okay, so I'm using multiple devices, but all linked to the same ledger live, and each time it required genuine check because they're all new devices. Yes, so you would have to anytime you plug in any device and to your computer, you will have to do the genuine check each time, no matter what. That's just part of the security of Ledger Live. Let's see. Okay, so maybe you are not understanding correctly about this because I got different nanos and I just wanted to see all funds on one ledger live and added devices. Okay, cool. Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. All right. To portfolio. All right, so you can see that I have this nano right here that I just set up. It's got a recovery phrase inside of it, so I can add accounts. Let's go ahead and add a Ethereum account since that's the Nano app that I installed. So we're going to have to open the Ethereum app to do that. Now it's synchronizing, and it's deriving the public wallet address for Ethereum account that can be derived from the master private key inside here. And so you can see here, it gives the option to add a new account. So this is an important part of this process. Give it a good, unique name. So I'm going to give it ETH test S plus. So this is just our tester device that we use for setup. I'm not going to load any funds onto it, but let's say that this was one of my devices and I did have a whole bunch of ETH on it. You do want to have a good unique name whenever you're using multiple nanos in Ledger Live, to avoid any just troubles like issues. Like you'll never be like in a situation where like, oh, that's it, I lost my funds, not from doing this. There's no danger, but it could be a huge headache, and I'll show you why here in a minute. So for now, we're going to call this account ETH test S plus. We're going to add it in. So now we go to our accounts, and we've got this single ETH account right here. Of course, it's got 0 ETH because we haven't loaded anything from this recovery phrase. So let me pull out my my work nano that I use. I'm going to break this connection right there, set it to the side, and then I'm going to plug in my work nano. And then I'm going to pull it off the camera to enter in the pin because there are funds attached to this. Okay, I set that down. Now let's say I want to add an ETH account from my second nano. Another ETH account. We're going to open the ETH account on this one. That's not a problem, Joseph. So you're asking, I have 2 nanos on one Ledger Live, and it both required genuine check, which I did because I added new device on Ledger Live. Never had an issue. That's not a problem. I think that's behaving exactly how it's supposed to be behaving. Yeah. So if I were to let me add in this ETH account real quick. So ETH dash S plus, actually dash Stadium Goods dash S plus. You don't have to name it like I do. You can name it however you want. I'm going to go ahead and add this. You can see it's already detecting the ETH that I already had. This is one of the accounts that I removed in the beginning of the video, and now I'm just adding it back in. So we'll add that. So there's that account now. So yeah, so to answer your question though, the genuine check is only performed when after your Ledger Live is set up and you're adding another nano. The genuine check will only need to be performed when you're going to the My Ledger tab. So like for instance, if I were to hang on, let me grab. There we go. We got another Nano S Plus sitting right here. If I were to set this Nano S Plus up at this point with its own recovery phrase and connect it, I wouldn't need to like go through like the setup process in Ledger Live again. However, I would need to come here to the My Ledger tab to install the Nano apps and do the genuine check. I would need to do the genuine check to install the Nano apps. But once you have the Nano apps installed, you don't have to do the genuine check every time, only when you're accessing the My Ledger tab. Let me know if you have any like more specific questions. That way I can kind of address anything that you're dealing with directly. But yeah, otherwise I'll just kind of keep showing you how I manage multiple nanos. And basically I do that by giving unique names so I know which one it belongs to. So like this blue one, I know it's the ETH test S plus. So like I wouldn't want to try to access this account by connecting this nano, and I'll show you what happens if I do. We'll open up the Ethereum application. I'm gonna come here. Let's say, oh, not there. That is the correct account. Let's say I want to come here and I want to receive some funds, and I accidentally messed up and I plugged in the wrong nano. I'm not going to get very far, and so you'll get this error message, which is like, yeah, Joseph. If the device is fake, Ledger Live. Yeah, so if the device is fake, when you go to the My Ledger tab and you do the genuine check, it's going to say device firmware is not genuine, contact Ledger support. And then you'll have to contact us to proceed. You won't be able to do anything. There'll be no way to install the Nano apps. There'll be no way to create accounts. There'll be no way to get wrecked at all. It's a pretty good failsafe. And then we would be like, obviously, if that. So we haven't really like had cases of people pulling that off. So if you did have a like faulty device like that was tampered with and you're failing the genuine check, we'd probably like desperately want you to send that to us so we can analyze it and check it out, and maybe see like what might be happening. So definitely contact us if you get into that, but it's not likely because we don't really see that. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. But yeah, so you'll get this error message saying that the hardware wallet is set up with please check that your hardware wallet is set up with the correct recovery phrase. And we know that it's not like this. The recovery phrase in this nano did not derive this account that I'm trying to access. So that's the issue is, oh shoot, wrong nano. So that's the biggest headache. And where it can become like a major headache is if you have like multiple devices, like 3, 4, 5 devices, and then multiple accounts from each device, and it's not really labeled correctly, and then it's like, which account belongs to which nano? Like this is a pain. And then you'd have to do a really lengthy process of elimination, or you could just remove everything, wipe Ledger Live, and start over and re-add all the accounts back in and give them unique names. Yeah, so that's yep. See. Okay, cool. Ty's helping out. DGB Phil, cool. Let's see. Nice. Yeah, we got mods in the chat answering all you guys' questions. That's super cool. All right, so we got about 5 more minutes. 5 or 6 more minutes. So some of you that are in here are probably like, what is going on with this guy's Ledger Live? Like he started out the video, he had these accounts, he wiped these accounts, he set up a new nano, he added another account, then he reconnected his work nano, and now he's able to just re-add his accounts back into Ledger Live. Like what the heck is going on here? Yeah. Having issue. Understand? Yeah. Sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I'm gonna get off this spiel. It looks like DGB Phil wants me to. Oh, cool, awesome. Thanks, Joseph. Yeah, I'm glad that helped. Wants me to connect to TronScan. Let's connect to TronScan. So to do that, we are going to need the Tron application. I think I already have it installed, but let's just check. I have so many Nano apps installed on this Nano. It's kind of hard to find them sometimes. But yeah, let's check it out. Okay. I do have one update available. Oh, cool. This is what app updates look like right here. Yeah, although I don't have the little purple circle, which is a little sus. I feel like it should be there, but let's go ahead. Oh, cool. Tron's already installed. Okay, so at this point, right now, I want to get out of the My Ledger tab before I try to connect to TronScan. And the reason is that when you connect your Ledger to the My Ledger tab, it forms a secure connection with your Ledger. And your ledger can only ever have one secure connection at a time. So one of the big like pain points that we have to help people with is like if they're trying to connect to other wallets, a lot of times they get like error messages, and it could be because Ledger Live is open and you're in the My Ledger tab, and it's kind of interrupting that. Although things have gotten better, like check this out. If I go here to the Tron app, which I luckily found pretty quick, and open that up, it kicks me out of the My Ledger tab, which is kind of cool. So it says, looks like an app is open on your device. Yeah, so now like it's pretty good. So it may not interrupt, but it could still cause an interruption, even though it broke the connection with the My Ledger tab by opening that app. But however, just to be safe, to avoid any like pain, like headaches or whatever, and to be honest, it's usually better just to completely close Ledger Live. But yeah, then we'll go here to Chrome, Tronscan, tronscan.org. Okay. And then we're going to connect wallet. We're going to use Ledger. Tron Link is pretty cool. Although now that you can connect directly using your Ledger, you might not need to use Tron Link. Tron Link is actually a third-party wallet. It's right here in my browser, my Chrome extensions. I use it all the time. It's a Tron wallet. It's pretty good. It's cool. But you can't connect directly to Tronscan using your Ledger. So we're gonna select Ledger. Now, before you do anything, make sure that you have the Tron app opened on your device and that it's connected and unlocked and not in sleep mode. If your device is in sleep mode at this point, then you're going to get all kinds of error messages. Or if you don't have the Tron app open, you're going to get error messages. Lots of error messages, very few of which are very helpful for anybody who's been like, navigating, connecting to third-party wallets in this space. Yeah, it's just like, it's kind of like little tricks of the trade at this point, like tribal knowledge. We're trying to like document everything and get it out there mainly by doing these live streams and having good documentation. But yeah, it's really finicky right now. So make sure Nano is unlocked with the PIN. That way you can form the connection. You got the right application open so that your Nano can communicate with this app right here. And we're going to go ahead and do that. And you can see right here, it immediately derives my first Tron account available on this device. So then it's already pre-selected. We select it and we're going to hit confirm. And then on the device, it says verify address. Then you're going to want to scroll to the right. At this point, you can see right here that it's got this information. This is the public wallet address. And it's also got it copied here on the screen of the Nano. And remember that your Nano is this is the ultimate source of truth. Your Nano, the screen of your Nano is linked directly to the secure element, and it can't be tampered with. So if whatever address is showing right here is 100% the public wallet address for your Tron account. So at this point, that's why it's saying it's giving the option to verify. Very unlikely that it's going to be different. It's like 99.99% of the time it's going to be exactly the same. But there's a small chance that there could be some like weird piece of malware that could mess with your device and try to get you to like display different information. So it is a good idea to verify just to make sure everything's above board. We're going to approve it because that is the correct wallet address. And then just like that, we're connected to Tronscan. You can see that we have up here, we have our wallet. We can send, receive. They have multi-sig transfers. To be signed transfers. You can swap. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can exit and you can disconnect your account. And yeah, so this is a true anonymous digital signature right here, a digital connection to this wallet, basically Tronscan, and it's also a block explorer. You can you can look up all the details for any Tron account here. If you have someone's public wallet address, you can copy it and paste it right here and look up all their account. Of course, we don't have any TRX in our account here, although I have been meaning to get some because it's just another crypto asset that add to the portfolio for test purposes and to be able to show customers. It'd be a little bit cooler if I had a little bit of Tron in the account. That way I can show you that you can access your account from anywhere. But I can do that from outside of Tronscan. We'll do that real quick. Or sorry, we'll do that on, what did I just do? We're gonna quit the Tron app. We're gonna open this up right here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go and put in my password for MetaMask. So connecting to MetaMask is really the same. So you can see right here that I've got the same ETH account right here that I have in Ledger Live. I go to my accounts. I open here. You see the balance right here. This is the exact same ETH account that you see right here, also in MetaMask. Open up MetaMask, and there it is, same account. It's got the same assets in it. It's all there. And the reason this is that all these wallets that you see us connecting to, including Ledger Live, they are all just windows into your crypto vault. Your crypto is not actually stored in Ledger Live or in MetaMask or on TronScan or anywhere else that you connect your Nano to. Anything that you connect your Nano to, all it is a convenient user interface that some team of developers have created in order to give users a way to access their funds on the blockchain. So your funds are actually just in an account on whatever network they're in, and just sitting in that account for that network. And so what Ledger Live does, Ledger Live is like, okay, well, what's the here, let's derive your crypto accounts now. Okay, so share the public wallet address so it can display those accounts. And then you can also cryptographically sign transactions, and Ledger Live can facilitate that using your Nano device. So I like to think of all these wallets as just being windows into my crypto vaults, and I can connect to any of them to access my crypto if I need to. And my ledger itself is a key. It's a copy of my key to my crypto vaults because it lets me connect. It lets me sign transactions, authorize things. And then my recovery phrase is the master key to your crypto vaults. With this, you can create new keys. You can import this into as many nanos as you want and create keys to all your vaults. And which could be cool, you know, if you're sharing accounts with like your significant other or something, and you both want access to the same accounts. Yeah, so that's kind of like how I like to like conceptualize it in my mind to kind of help me like wrap my head around it, because it's pretty crazy. We can all agree that like crypto is pretty crazy. It's very new. So yeah, I hope that's helpful for you guys. So website, you open the Tron app on Ledger and it won't connect. Let's see. Are you getting any error messages? DGB Phil. Let's see. Oh, it's frozen and it won't connect. Which web browser are you using by chance, DGB Phil? If you're trying to use Firefox, that could definitely be the issue. So Firefox recently dropped support for U2F connection types, as well as web HID. It doesn't support any of the connection types that Ledger needs to be able to connect. So if you are using Firefox, that is no longer a viable option, really at all for hardware wallets. If so, try it in Chrome, try it in Brave, Microsoft Edge, even Safari. Actually, I don't know about Safari. Unknown about Safari, but Microsoft Edge, Chrome, Brave, I would try in these browsers and see if you have better luck. Also, make sure that you have the Tron app that you have on your device. Make sure it's fully up to date. If that's out of date, then there's a good chance that could be causing the issue. And if you go to the My Ledger tab and you don't have a Tron app update, but you do have a firmware update available, like you saw for the blue one right here that I had, then that could also be causing issues. Yeah, and then Ty is saying make sure Ledger Live is closed. It'll interfere with connections. One other thing that it could be, if you're not on Firefox, you are on Chrome, everything's up to date, and this whole thing is a huge mystery. If you do have any other like browser extension wallets, sometimes some of them can be a little bit aggressive, and they can actually like overpower other connections and cause connection issues. So I would go here, and if you go down here to your browser extensions, you go to manage extensions, you can see that I have a bunch that I have like disabled, like Coinbase wallet extension, Frame, I think Tahoe, you know, like These are wallets that I still use sometimes because I very much like some of the features in some of them, but it can cause issues with other dApps that I'm trying to connect to and other wallets that I'm trying to connect to at times. So I kind of like got into the habit of kind of like disabling and enabling the ones that I need. Let's see, Joseph. All right, I'm a little over right now, but it's okay. I'm gonna finish answering out your guys' questions real quick. Looks like we have a couple more. Mitmont is saying, hello, question about the latest 2.2.1 Ledger Live update. Confirm the backup recoveries opt-in only and just updating Ledger Live. That is absolutely correct. Yeah. The Ledger Recover, that can't happen without the user signing up for it. So you would have to actually go in and create an account and then go through a pretty lengthy process to opt into the service. It is disabled by default. And so if you don't want to use it, there's absolutely no risk to just ignoring it. It's just gonna, yeah, it'd be disabled by default. Let's see. And then Joseph is reiterating to not use Ledger Recover, all we need is not opt in. Yep, correct. After updating Nano X firmware, how can I not opt in? Yeah, how can I update firmware and not use? Yeah, so to do that, yeah, like I just said, like you like it's a whole process to do it, and if you ever did go through the process, you would realize that it would like kind of be impossible to like for anything to have like for that process to be enabled without your permission, because all the steps have to be authorized from your Nano, from the user. So it's like you would know if you were signing up from it. So it's disabled by default. If you don't want to use it, just ignore it, and you have a at that point you've successfully opted out of the program. Yeah, no problem. Okay, DGB Phil, you did that as well. Tried to help me out months ago on the live as well. Dang. Yeah, I mean, your name sounds familiar. Like, that's crazy that you still haven't been able to get connected. You know what? One thing that you can try, let's try this. Let's exit out of TronScan. Do you have TronLink? Have you tried TronLink? Maybe you'll have better luck with that. Let's see. So let's go to TronLink. Actually, check this out. Connect Ledger to Tron. Connect your Ledger to Tron with TronLink. Okay, so I'm going to drop this. Apologize if I already dropped this. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to drop this right here, TronLink. So this is how you connect to TronLink. So basically to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and run through it real quick. I'm already connected. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect if I can figure out how. I think I can just delete the account. Yeah, sure. Let's confirm it. Okay. Man, how many Tron accounts do I have added here? Let's go to this one. Let's delete this one. Confirm. And let's go back. Let's go. Yep. Let's delete this one too. Let's delete all of them. Delete them all. All right. Oh, at least one account required. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. All right. So let's go. So you would go to. Oops. It's been so long since I've done this. Here we go. So in the top right. So when you first set up your TronLink, you're probably gonna have to with TronLink. I don't think you have to. I don't think you have to set up a hot wallet. I think you can go directly to Connect Ledger. But anyway. You go here, create import wallet. This is what it'll look like. So you choose the option to pair your hardware wallet. Again, before you click on any of this, make sure Tron app is open. And make sure that obviously your Nano's unlocked. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to open up the Tron app. All right, so click on pair hardware wallet. It wants to connect to Ledger. Yep, that's fine. We'll go next. We've got the app open. Okay, I think that was it. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm not sure why it closed the browser extension. Anyway, we got wallet name. It's deriving the wallet address. We're gonna call this. We're just gonna call it S plus. And we're gonna confirm it and imported. Then from there, you can go to TronScan. Still got the Tron app opened up. You'll still need that opened up. We'll reconnect. This time we're going to choose Tron Link. We're going to connect through Tron Link, and it automatically connects. It's just really easy. So that's another way. If you can't connect, okay, you're in now and just buffering to connect. Okay, cool. Yeah, hopefully you can do it through Tron Link. I'm not sure what the issue could be. Yeah, it's so hard to troubleshoot on these live streams, like quick, because first off, there's like a 30-second delay between my words coming out of my mouth and then reaching you through all the nether and all the wires and cables and internet. So it makes it a little bit tricky. But let me know if connecting through Tron Link helped out with that. It says connecting a device. So did you get the step on your device where you actually for Tron Link, it's just like straight up just connected. It's so frustrating when like I know that like someone I'm trying to help is having an issue and I can't recreate it. Like it's just like, of course it's gonna work perfectly for me. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah, it's just of course gonna work for me. Do you have you said you're using Chrome. Do you have any updates for your Chrome browser? Like, are there any updates available? And for your computer as well, does your computer have any updates available? How often do you restart your computer? Because that's one thing that does get a lot of people caught up. Is like if you don't restart your computer regularly, maybe it won't. It'll have trouble in getting those like some of those good updates installed, like updates to like your USB settings, updates to like your browser settings, updates to that keep things running smoothly. So I would say probably maybe restart your man. This is a Scooby-Doo mystery. Yeah, connection issues are really difficult to work out. Have you opened up a support ticket with us? Because honestly, that really is a better place for like a USB connection issue like this for a third-party DApp, because then we can be like, okay, so let me get this, and this information. Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, okay. I just came in here and dropped some knowledge on me. So if you go back to Tron Scan, and you click on this little lock right here, you can reset the permissions of your. So you can see I have this Nano X right here and the Nano X Plus that I've connected. You can reset the permissions, and then that may help. Yeah, maybe try that. I've never had to do that, but okay. Yeah, I would say probably like if you haven't already opened up a support ticket, then open one up. And if you already have one, drop it here so that we can make sure to get it assigned to one of us pretty quickly. Yeah, and then we'll yeah, definitely look into that a little bit deeper. Trying to think off the top of my head like something else that it could be. Yeah, I don't know if you answered the question or not, but if you haven't restarted your computer, I know we're in the middle of this live stream, so you probably can't do it right now. But after we get done with this, which I'm already 15 minutes over, so we are going to have to cut this here in a minute. Yeah, restart your computer, install any browser update or system update for your computer that's available. No, that would be a different issue. Like I'm not really sure what that would like lead to. That wouldn't cause so the validator not having enough the amount of Tron that wouldn't create any issue with you connecting. That's a totally different process. So I would say it probably wouldn't have anything to do with that. Yeah, but again, I can't be certain unless like we really dug into it. Yeah, sorry we couldn't get that fixed for you here. Yeah, connecting to third-party wallets it can be tricky. It can be really tricky, and it's usually due to like something like really dumb, just something really simple that like we've all overlooked for like a week, and then it's like, oh. But yeah, I would say definitely get with us on our support. I see that Joseph had one other question I'd like to hit before we end this. Tim, I already got 2 nanos added to Ledger Live, and they both require genuine check, which is all done. So I've done correctly, not missing out anything, right? Yeah, that sounds perfect. But keep in mind, you will have to redo those genuine checks. Anytime you break the connection of your Nano and reconnect to Ledger Live and you want to access the My Ledger tab, you'll have to do that genuine check every single time. But that's expected behavior, and that's good. Very secure. Okay, cool. Looks like another question just came in. Hi, I'm having an issue of the listing review transaction is not showing up in my ledger, MetaMask, and my MetaMask gets stuck when I try to list NFTs. Oh, how'd that go, DGB Phil? Let us know. Let's see. So issue of listing review transaction is not showing up. Okay, so you're trying to list NFTs on an NFT marketplace like OpenSea or Rarible or something, and the transaction is not showing up on your Nano. Let's see. But not the listing one. That is interesting. That only the listing one wouldn't work. But you're able to transfer, so you're able to send, and you're able to accept offers. Let's see. Let me think about that. I guess I would want to see if you do have any stuck transactions. So I would check your MetaMask. So go to your MetaMask and see if you have, go to the activity right here, the activity tab, and see if you have any stuck transactions, any pending transactions that are stuck in MetaMask. Yeah, make another ticket, DGB Phil. Definitely. And if you don't get an answer by our next live stream, pop into our live stream and be like, "Hey guys, haven't gotten an answer yet. Can you help me with this?" And we'll get it assigned to one of us right away. But for oh man, I'm really bad at name pronunciation. Ugor Yemen. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. But yeah, go to the activity tab. See if you have any pending transactions, anything that's like stuck. No, you don't. So it's weird that you would be able to sign some transactions and not other transactions. Oh, you know what? Actually, check the system clock for your computer. I know that was probably like a really random like answer, but there are certain transactions that do have timers incorporated into the like the transaction details. Perhaps listing an NFT. I don't know. I know that performing swaps on decentralized exchanges, if your system clock does not match like your actual time zone that you're in, that your IP address is reflecting, then you can get an automatic timeout error message, and it could fail the transaction and just never make it to the Nano. Yeah, I would try that. Maybe that could have something to do with it. Like if you travel overseas, or if you travel between time zones and maybe your computer time zone is kind of messed up, set it to where you're currently at, and then see if that helps. Yeah, that's where I would start with that. If that doesn't help, then come back to us in another live stream or open up a ticket at support.ledger.com. Right there. And then that is not a great link, is it? Let's go here. Okay. So you go to here, support.ledger.com. Maybe this will work better. Oh, yeah, it did. Sweet. All right, hyperlinked. Sweet. Okay, so then you click on the Contact Us button down here, and then you go through these chatbot questions. Select whatever, whatever's closest, or just whatever. And then yeah, you can get connected with us. Does that help? Say no. If you say yes, then it'll assume it helped. And then here, you type in your email address, submit it, and then you'll open up a ticket with us. Okay, so I think that's all the time. How to swap tokens on Arbitrum chain in Nano X. Yeah, I don't know if I have enough time to get into that. I can show you let's see. So we can go to Uniswap. Uniswap.org, launch the app. We can use MetaMask to connect. So we're good to go there. We're connected to my my work ETH account. You can go up here, find Arbitrum, allow it to switch the network in MetaMask, and now you can swap tokens on Arbitrum from Uniswap. And to connect your ledger to MetaMask, you're going to want to follow these steps right here. Okay, yeah, so connect to MetaMask, connect to Uniswap, and then change to Arbitrum, and you can swap your tokens there. Dang, you already did that? Man, it didn't work? That's tough. Yeah, I don't know. I would need to really dig into that, I think. I would have to ask you a lot of probing questions about like your setup and everything. So yeah, definitely be a support ticket issue. Let us know, and if you have the case number, share it in one of our live streams, and I'll take it personally, or I'll get it to one of the other awesome agents on our team, and we'll get you taken care of. But yeah, that's all the time I have today. I went pretty far over. I'm pretty sure my team lead is out there like going like this to me. So yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. I hope you all had a wonderful week, and honestly, I hope you guys all have a more wonderful weekend. And we'll be back on our normal time on Wednesday for our Ask Me Anything. So show up on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to get your questions answered. And then, of course, 1 week from today, next Friday, we will be doing another live onboarding and Ask Me Anything series. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, guys. And yeah, I hope you all have a good one and stay safe out there. Bye.